Hey Taters, on the last episode of the Bear and Tree Show, we had an outstanding podcast with special guest E.T. Williams, better known as the Doctor of Common Sense. And here are the highlights from that show. You have some loyal people who love you and are there for you through thick and thin. They will follow you wherever you go.
Yeah, so I got to give a shout out to the Common Sense Nation. That's what we call them. The Common Sense Nation. These people support me. They've supported me. A lot of them are actually joined because we actually have a pay site on my website, commonsensnation.net. And you have to pay subscribe. You got to pay to look at the videos.
Yeah.
But I have loyal followers who actually follow me in whatever I do on Facebook or on the website, because we do a podcast on Wednesday. And believe it or not, I actually do a spiritual broadcast on Sunday.
Yeah.
And that makes them even madder because they said we tried to get them to shut up by not saying certain things, but I got this note for everybody. It's not going to get any better. It's not going to get any better because there's a quote. Now everybody likes to quote different people, but I think it was Dr. King who actually said this, and the left loves to quote Dr. King. It was him who says, "In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends."
Ooh. The reason why you are a threat and you had to go was because you were funny.
No, they don't like you making fun of them. I found that out a long time ago. The worst thing you can do is make fun of them. So when they tell me not to do something, I just start saying, this is comedy. I'm making fun of you by actually laughing at you. Like I laugh at Joe Biden all the time now. I used to make fun of Barack Obama and Michelle Obama about her being a man. They didn't like me doing that.
No, they didn't like that. Upset. I thought it was hilarious.
But this is why I say, why is it that the left can make fun of everyone, but they get all sensitive? Hey, I don't mind the left making fun of me. I don't mind the left. I can take it just as well as I can dish it out. But I don't think it's censorship for you to say certain people can say certain things, but others can't say certain things. And so comedy has been ruined. I'm never apologizing for being right. I don't care who get pissed off about it. I'm never apologizing when I'm right. When some of these Hollywoods, they go adopt a little kid from Africa, but you don't have to go to Africa to adopt a little black kid. Hey, it got them in Chicago, in Baltimore. You can adopt them right here in Houston.
Right? And it's extra points that end up being Transformers afterwards, too.
You know what?
Multiple points for them.
Yeah, I consider it like an accessory to them. Like you get a new purse, you get new shoes. I got me a new black baby. It's insane though. But I always tell people, I don't see color. I don't care. I was raised right is right, wrong is wrong. If you want to you go talk to my grandfather and my grandma, both of them on both sides, they would have looked at you crazy. My granddaddy lived to be 115 years old.
Wow.
115 on my dad's side. And guess what? He actually would tell you, he didn't finish the 6th grade. I think my grandma dropped out in the 8th grade. But they know the difference between right and wrong.
Yeah.
And guess what? They didn't take government handouts. They raised a bunch of kids. On my mom's side, it was 18 of them. They never took welfare. On my dad's side, it was 9 of them. They never took welfare.
Wow.
So we're building a culture of people to be dependent on Uncle Sam and say, have babies, go to this community, raise a bunch of people. And if you get raised in that community, it's like dropping them off to wolves. Of course, it's going to be hard once all you see is drug dealing and teenage pregnancy and the whole 9 yards. Now, if LeBron James and the rest of these woke freaks want to fix them, why don't you fix that?
Yeah.
Stop the teenage pregnancy. Stop the crime and violence in your neighborhood. This is the equivalent of having a shotgun wound. You go to the hospital. They rush you to the emergency room. You've been shot in the head and you have a stump toe. They start operating on the stump toe. The police officers killing, quote, minorities is a stump toe.
Right.
The killing of black on black crime and brown on brown crime is the gunshot wound to the head.
True.
Joy Reid, that woman, she's about as dumb as a box of burnt hair. She has absolutely no common sense. All she talks about is race. Every show is about race. She's been wrong about so many things.
So many things.
And think about this, though. She says, I think it was her statement was, everybody interested in Gabby is the missing white woman syndrome. In other words, if a bunch of missing blacks or people of color came up, nobody would be concerned. You know what I say to that? Because I always like to present a question whenever they say something like that. I said, when a police officer kills a white, do we ever hear about it?
Ooh!
Because I was talking to this guy. Matter of fact, he was from Chicago. He was a business owner. And I was talking to him. And what we talked about is that he started talking about the Paris Agreement. He hated Donald Trump because of the Paris Agreement. So I asked him, you'll be surprised that people cannot answer questions. They're used to just
I won't.
Talking points.
I won't be surprised.
But if you throw a question in there, it just throws a monkey wrench. It's like the deer in the headlights. They don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So I let him talk about Paris Johnson and going on. I said, I'd like to stop you right there when you get finished. I got a question I want to answer. I got 2 questions I'd like to ask you. And he said, okay, then what's those questions? I said, the number 1 question I'd like to ask you is, how many people do you know personally that's died from climate change? And you just saw there was nothing there. And he says, what do you mean by that? I said, it's not a trick question. Very simple. How many? I know people who die from gunshot wound. I know people die from diabetes. I know people die from heart disease. Show me the people that you know that's died from climate change. He said, well, the forest is burning up. Yeah, some people start those fires. You just got to cut down bushes. If it's real dry, it will start a fire. That has nothing to do with climate change. I said, the other question I'd like to ask you, because you say you support Joe Biden, could you name me 5 things that Joe Biden has done since he's been in office for the last 46 years?
Oh!
Dead solid. Dead solid. He's a businessman. He owns a business and he's this dumb.
You know what? Now, the more you talk, the more I really see like, yep, now I see why YouTube, they cannot have your voice. You really fit your name. And I'm not just saying that. You do. It's like you're funny and you make so much common sense, okay?
They hate that. They hate common sense.
They really do.
They want to shut you down. But the thing that gets me is that Joe Biden supposedly went to Syracuse and he graduated. I like to keep telling people that it was only 85 people in the class. He finished 76. Now that means
I did not know that.
Yeah, he finished only nine people was behind him. Now guess what? Most of the time, if you know anything about college, a lot of people don't show up for class. They drop the class without actually dropping the class. So technically, Joe Biden probably finished butt naked last. He probably didn't finish 76. He probably was 85. He's a moron. Everybody knows he's a moron. So I don't know why everybody's trying to dress it up. But you know what's funny? But that ain't even the funny part. So they said when Joe Biden got out of college, he was supposedly working for this law firm. I've looked everywhere. I couldn't find it anywhere. But I did find one thing. Joe Biden worked as a public offender. Now, I know this is scary. Joe Biden worked as a public offender, they say, for about 6 months. But the only case I could ever find of Joe Biden representing, it was a fellow who was a poor guy. He had 4 kids and a wife. He stole a cow. It was a plea bargain. Joe Biden allegedly got him off. That's the only case he's ever done. Now, that's the only job he supposedly ever had besides being a politician. And technically, he was working for the state then. So here we got Joe Biden, all his accomplishment, and I try everywhere to find accomplishments about Joe Biden. There are none because he's haven't accomplished anything. But everybody says, let's elect Joe Biden because he's not offensive as Donald Trump. And my question is, would you hire somebody who's been working for 46 years on your house and they haven't got anything right? The toilet is in the kitchen and they haven't fixed anything. But now you want to hire this guy again for the 47th year. Who's stupid, you or him?
Wow. We have been lied to so many times by so many different platforms that it's nothing like having your own site, right? ET is nothing like having your own
Well, see, this
site.
is why I keep telling people, listen, why don't you just put all your videos on another site as opposed to put them on your website? I said, wait a minute. I can control anything I want to put on my own website. I can do it. I don't have to watch my tone. I don't have to watch what I say. I can say anything I want to on there, and nobody can ban me. So why would I actually stop that particular platform?
Yeah, and I used to be on that I used to be on that wavelength of, you know, my 7-day ban was a wake up call to get back onto getting people to come to my my website. And if you look at any of my videos, I constantly, in the beginning and the end, TreeofLogic.com, anything happens to me, TreeofLogic.com, TreeofLogic.com, and now people are flooding to my site. I've been looking at my analytics and they have been increasing. So now I'm doing the same. Of course, I have a membership site too, but soon I will be streaming not exclusively, but that's my main platform is my website, but I'll multi-stream on other venues.
That's the smartest thing I tell people to do. Now, this is what I don't understand. There's a lot of conservatives with a lot of money. Why haven't they built their own platforms yet? That's what I keep asking.
I think they're too dependent.
I think you guys are concentrating on like the platforms, like maybe not like having our backs. But the issue is that even if we have what conservative, if I was a millionaire, why would I ever invest in a new platform? Because I know it's going to happen. I'm going to invest all my money into it, and then Apple Store is going to take it down, and then Google Play is going to take it down, and then my web hosting is going to take it down, right? And so they're not going to invest their money when they know it's all going to be destroyed. That's what happened with Parler, right? Like we're having it over there, then it cut down.
Well, the problem with Paula is that the guy who pretended like he was conservative, he was never conservative anyway.
Right.
He was a fraud.
Right.
But I can understand why some of them want to do it, but if I'm a billionaire, I can build my own server room. I mean, they got enough money, they can do their own server.
Exactly.
Just like Apple or whoever built it. If I'm a billionaire, I don't need you for anything.
Exactly.
I don't need Apple, I don't need Amazon. You can build your own platform and you don't need any of those guys if they really want to do it. But I don't think they want the headache because Donald Trump found out that sometimes it's not worth it.
Yeah.
The headache that you got to go through for your personal business, believe me, I'm talking from experience.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
I've suffered a whole lot of financial stuff, and I'm not a millionaire. I'm not a billionaire.
Right.
But I've suffered myself. I can't tell you how much money I've lost because I wouldn't compromise and I wouldn't shut up. If I had shut up and go along to get along, I could have had a bigger platform. They used to take down my video. Some of my videos was going 10 million viewers when I was on YouTube, and they were still taking them. They was taking them down. I started another channel, and it just kept happening. I said, if I'd have been smart 5 years before I got kicked off of YouTube, I would have actually went and built my own platform then. But the sad part about this is that most of people, when they see something happen to you, they don't ever say, nobody came to my defense.
True.
Everybody,
Yeah.
he got what he deserved.
Yeah.
He's conservative.
Yeah.
He got what his mouth was too. I said, did you see the filth they got on some of these platforms? And you're talking to me about some I said, I offended somebody, called him a name. Are you kidding me?
Right.
I was talking to a conservative who says he would like Donald Trump more if Donald Trump would just tone it down. He didn't insult people. I said, if you break in my house, I'm going to do more than insult you. Technically, what they're saying is they have broken people's house. They've actually destroyed our way of life, and now they're telling us just go along to get along.
Right.
Well, personally, I'd rather die than just go along to get along.
I think the reason why a lot of them won't do it is one, out of laziness, and two, they think it's not going to happen to them. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to be honest with you. I've talked to a lot of people, and I think most people don't like conflict. It's a certain
True.
They run away from conflict.
I love it. Bring it
There's
on.
only a certain crowd that run to conflict. You ever see those certain warriors
Yes.
in the military? They run to conflict. You ever watch 300, the movie?
Yes, they run to conflict.
They run to conflict because they're warriors. I'm one of those guys that run to conflict.
Me too.
I don't
Me
run
too.
away from conflict.
Yeah.
I see conflict. I don't care if it's my neighbor. And by the way, they're never removing Joe Biden. You know why? Why would I remove somebody I can control?
That's what I said.
dummy.
That's what I
Stand
said.
right
Yes,
there.
he's a good puppet.
Hold on now,
He's
but
an excellent puppet.
Biden's a puppet because he doesn't know what's going on because he has dementia. But Kamala Harris is also a puppet because Kamala Harris has no beliefs.
No, I agree.
feelings. She will do whatever it takes. Whatever she's told will give her more power. She'll do. She doesn't believe in anything. She'll flip flop on the dime.
I agree with you 100%. But one key detail you keep forgetting, though, that with Kamala Harris, she has an ego. Biden don't have an ego right now. He just flipped. But see, Kamala, even though she has no system, she'll do anything to get to the top.
Oh, anything. We mean anything.
Anything. Now, she's used to being on the bottom, but this time she wants to be on top. But I can tell you this. Kamala she's so arrogant that she actually thinks she's smart. It's obvious she's not smart.
True.
She's a moron. She's just as dumb as Joe Biden. And by the way, I said this on my podcast. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are the dumbest duo in the history of this country as vice president and president. It's not even close.
Not even close.
And that's saying a lot,
close.
because George Bush was no genius himself.
True.
Barack Obama was no genius. And Jimmy Carter was a moron, too.
Duo. I mean, at least George Bush was an idiot. At least Dick Cheney was smart. He was kind of like evil smart his own way.
Exactly right.
And now we have a duo over here, dummies.
Duo. Neither one of them has a clue, and either one would do anything. They don't care.
And there you have it, folks. The highlights from our podcast, The Bear and Tree Show, which live streams every Wednesday at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Please like and share this highlight video with your friends and family on various social media platforms. On behalf of BJ and myself, we would like to thank you for your kind words and support. You, our audience, is why we do this, and we will continue to improve our podcast for your entertainment and enjoyment. See you at our next show on Wednesday at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Later, taters.